Welcome, After Buzzers. On tonight's episode of the Queen Sugar After Show, we talk Nova and Charley's showdown, Ralph Angel grows up, and Hollywood's high school reunion. Stay tuned for more.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Come on. What's up, AfterBuzzers? We are back, jamming up to that old school Jodeci, right? That good
How
stuff.
you want to bring it back?
Gotta do the roll with it, you know what I'm saying?
Let's get it.
Okay, Sally.
Some people be coming to talk to me.
Yeah, right?
I've had a good week.
We are back. As always, guys, my name is Shaka Smith. I'm joined by my lovely co-host.
I'm trying to hear about Sally's week.
I know, right? Hey guys, it's always good to be back. It's your girl, Miss Candi Marie. And your favorite Afro-Latina here, Franceli Chapman, and I'm spilling no tea.
Oh, no, what? Spilling no tea. We came here for the tea. And it is Takira Shabrae.
Oh, that's it. Just a Takira Shabrae. I love
Yeah,
that.
Keep
I
it
love that.
simple. Keep
Give
it
it some
simple.
day vibe.
Classy,
Yeah.
yeah. I like it. Guys, as always, we've got some great topics. Again, we're talking about Nova and Charley's showdown. We're talking about Ralph Angel growing up and Hollywood's high school reunion, which I loved. And again, we got our sweet tweet segment, and we got some news from Sally tonight. So we got a lot of stuff to look forward to. Let's get right into it. And for those of you in the chat, we are looking at you. We're glad you've joined us, and hopefully you guys will have a little comment and question for us, and we'll get into it.
Let's get into it. Let's do it.
So let's talk about everyone's overall thoughts of this episode.
Interesting.
We'll start with you.
I just snap on Hollywood. You better show these ladies. I know we'll get into it, but that's my main. But I liked it. It was a little slower, I think, than we've gotten.
Yeah.
number
you know,
3.
yeah. So we'll see.
You know, it's interesting because overall, I agree. Overall, I just love how this show continues to show black men being strong and defending black women. And that's what we saw. We saw overall just people showing up for each other, coming to bat for one another, just making sure that it's like, I got your back. And unity is 20 times more important all day, every day for each other, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, and I have to agree with you because speaking of men, I have to represent for my mans.
Oh, that's what you're doing? You're
Yeah,
representing?
my man's Ralph Angel. Hey, boo. I'm just so proud. I just want to have a moment to talk to you, Ralph. I'm just so proud
okay.
Should we?
of the evolution.
He does have a
you,
girlfriend,
Ralph.
let's be clear.
He does not. He is actually single, happily single. And Ralph, hello.
Wait, they broke up?
But yes, no, I just want to say that I love the evolution of his character. I love how you have matured over time, you sexy chocolate man. And I can't wait to see how, like, let's forget about these little hoochies that you've been inviting to the house. I know you're hurt. Darling, you know, she screwed up. I'm here. But I cannot wait to see what else.
So basically, Candace's overall thoughts is just Ralph Angel. That's what
I was mesmerized. Can you help me?
I mean,
Come on.
clearly.
Everybody, they know. The people know. This has been going on since season 1. You know, this is an ongoing thing. This is not just something that just came about. You know,
I will give it to you this time. I did actually think this was Ralph Angel's episode.
Yes.
Yes, I'm just saying.
This was him growing up for me.
Right.
I think in life in general, we kind of like, we take 3 steps forward and then 2 steps backwards. And then we have those moments where we take that big leap and then we are a different person and then that happens again until that next moment. And for me, this was like the moment where in his life, a lot of things fell into place and a lot of things clicked.
That's all I was trying to say. I just said it differently.
She just wanted to cue the music during her
Yeah.
life.
I mean,
She wants Ralph Angel to come and talk to her.
I mean, y'all started it.
I did pick the music, so my bad. That was my bad. I picked the
I just
Jodeci.
finished it. Ralph, call me.
Yeah, so this was, for me, this was his episode, but we have so much other stuff to talk
Oh my
about. It's so
gosh.
rich. So we're going to talk about Nova and Charley's showdown, I guess kind of what even led into that. So, we start off, we know Nova gets to the truth right away.
Yes.
She extracts the truth from Ralph Angel and wastes no time in letting the family know that she feels they were sold out for 1%.
Yes.
What were y'all's thoughts on this? Who's right? Is Nova right? Is Charley right?
Go ahead,
Teacher,
Sally.
please.
You got your hand
I have
up.
my hand raised. It's interesting because Sister Showdown's been happening since we were first introduced to this story. There's something about it. I never call her my half sister, but my sister, we have different mothers, and it's interesting that conflict does arise in that arena. But even with the conflict arising, I can say something, but can nobody else say something about my sister?
Right.
You know, and that's what we saw Nova do. Like, regardless of what, even with her own son, she's like, look, I may go to bat, I may go toe-to-toe with her because this is my personality and I'm aggressive and we don't always see eye to eye and I'm going to speak my truth.
Right.
But when it come to my sister, you're going to respect her, you're going to see her, and you're going to value her.
And your
I
mother.
loved that.
Yeah.
That,
And your
that redeemed
mother.
me for her. That
You
redeemed
know,
me
like,
for Nova.
yeah.
Listen, my theme for 2018 has been finding sisterhood. And sisterhood is so important because we're stronger together and there are entities that continue to try to tear us apart. So seeing sisterhood even portrayed the way it is on this television show is beautiful. I'm thankful for it.
And I think it's like
yes.
that sometimes when we do squabble internally, that's an internal squabble. That's
Yes.
that's because we feel safe amongst each other to say, hey, look, here's where you're going wrong,
Right.
or where I believe you're going wrong. But when outside people take that as a message, we want to make sure they know. And I love the way Nova
Right.
talked to Micah to say, look, you should be proud of your mom.
Right.
That
Because
was a
you have
moment.
to,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you have to check the intent too.
Yeah.
Like intent to love and intent to
That part.
correct.
Hello.
Or, like, you have to check that real quick.
And to be honest with you, because it's coming from a place that is like a place that I don't have to question, I would much rather come from within than it come from somebody else. Because if you think about it, because they're all intelligent women, and that's one of the things that I love about our writers, because they have developed very strong, intelligent Black women. So it's like they're gonna throw everything at you. So when it comes from you on the outside, you're already prepared for what's gonna come at you.
Right.
Right.
They can handle it.
Now, no, my question for you is, the whole showdown fits Nova's personality, but is she going more hard now because she feels she may be not that on the ground grassroots woman that she wants to be? But I felt like, is she advancing something more because she wants to still connect with this thing, even though she might be headed for greater stardom as a sort of novelist?
Well, do you feel she's being that way just because she resigned from her job? Because I feel like you can still be grassroots without the 9 to 5.
And for me, I was wondering, is she
Like, that was
picking
her
this fight because she's like, this is who I am, and she's still trying to hold on to who she is, and so she doesn't even want to see Charlie's side because she's like, I need to be this thing even without the platform I had.
I think that she was more hurt. I see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
I think maybe she felt like, okay, she quit her day job. She's starting this whole book. We saw at the beginning that none of her articles can be used because it was when she was working with Daily News. So everything that she had pride in, everything that she stood on is being ripped away from her. She can't even use it for her book.
Yeah.
So I think, in that moment she may have felt a little vulnerable because it was something Ralph and Charley knew that she didn't know. And so since she doesn't have her book, it's like, well, what else am I going to lose? Like, I need something for him to stand on. So I kind of see where you're coming from there.
Yeah, and I want to add, I want to say that I think that it really is coming from a genuine place because this is a shocker to the family. It's like, how dare you? How could you, after everything our father went through, these people killed him with all the stress that they placed on him year after year. He had to fight for this farm and for our legacy. Like, how dare you become their 1%?
Yeah.
Like honestly, it feels like a little bit of betrayal. So I understand where she's coming from because like she doesn't know her plan.
Yeah.
She's probably questioning it. I feel like she has every right to.
But I mean, for me, when Charley retorted with the, but I'm the only one doing something.
Right.
Because at the same time, like,
And that's
literally,
a good
she
point,
is the
too.
only one
Yes.
involved in the day-to-day business of this legacy that they're...
Ralph is out there working real
But
hard
Nova
and
isn't
strong.
though. But what is like
Nova
honestly,
isn't.
Nova's not.
what is
Nova's
Nova
not.
doing?
Yeah.
On a day-to-day basis, she's kind of like consumed in her own stuff right now. Let's be real.
I mean, yeah. I mean, Nova, she had the
yeah.
claim that she was there when Charley wasn't, but now it's been some time. Charley's literally mixed her work with the soil. So
It's almost like she's not the glue, definitely not the glue that holds them together, but I feel like her purpose lately has been to challenge or to just kind of be present, to kind of hear. But that's a good point.
Yeah, I mean,
She's not really doing too much.
No, but I think
She's like, wait a minute.
I think we'll talk about it. At least for me, I'll talk about it in predictions. But I'm hoping they don't make it sort of an annoying character trait of Nova trying to latch on to local or internal family issues just because she feels she's been sort of like doesn't have the sort of voice she had before.
well, it's because Nova's trying to find herself. She's trying to find her own keep. She
Right.
was not happy at the newspaper. She was offered this deal, and now it's like, okay, the deal is even a little rocky for her because now they're saying, well, technically, you can't even use any of this material because it's not even yours to use.
They got you in
They
the
take
door
your
in the
they
first
took her
place. They
voice.
took her voice.
But imagine when she writes this book, the effect of the book is what? A year down the line, right?
Right.
You're writing, you're doing the months of research, the book gets released, and then maybe you start to see these positive effects you're having in the community.
Yeah.
She's used
That's
to
gonna
like, I
take-
write an article next week,
And
we
it's
on the front lines, we're marching.
Instant gratification
Yeah.
is Nova's thing.
Exactly.
Which is why, the conflict was in season 2 with, her bae. Like, he wanted to take her to new heights, and she was just on some, I like being right here.
Yeah.
So do you think she's comfortable? You think that's her issue? She likes to stay within her confines. What's comfortable for her?
Well, here's the thing. She already showed us in the, last week's episode that she stepped out of her comfort zone. Like, I don't believe she was comfortable in resigning. That was a very uncomfortable move for her to make.
Yeah.
It was a very scary move to make, and she made it despite. So she's in the this is where you grow.
Yeah.
In being uncomfortable. She's very uncomfortable. So she's gonna be a little all over the place for the next couple episodes, I think.
And that's what I'm like, I
That makes
hope we don't
sense.
see her like just trying to like stoke some fires that aren't really there that need to be stoked.
Yeah, because she's just in a new
Yeah.
space.
Yeah.
And that's what happens. And we do it with our families. It's interesting. Statistics show that we lash out on the people and the things that we know are stable, that aren't going anywhere.
Yeah.
So it's like she's in this weird space. She's dealing with all these emotions. So why not lash out on the people closest to me? That's what's happening.
Interesting. So that's why you feel like she really lashed out on
Yeah,
Charley.
for sure.
Because it's like she lashed out on her, but then in a sense she kind of sided with her when she told Micah,
Right,
you need
because
to be proud of your mom.
Because
Yeah.
at the end of the
Sister.
day, she understands.
yeah.
She may not agree, but she understands. And initially, all her other emotions came into that conversation.
Yeah.
Because there's more than one thing happening here for her.
And I think we even saw a little bit of it in the past episodes when she was talking about the local guys protesting the basketball game, where you see that wanting to engage and wondering if she's got a voice that can continue to push that narrative forward.
So is this new generation kind of taking like what's next for me?
Yeah.
Next chapter.
And so, but before we get into our next topic, I don't know if you guys know, some of you guys are watching on YouTube, but we are also available on iTunes.
Yes.
So please, we love if you subscribe and leave some comments, give us 5 stars, tell us what you like, tell us what you don't like, tell us what you want to hear.
Yes, and we
Yes.
just love reading your comments because we like to respond.
Yeah.
Yes, we do love to respond.
We love to respond.
If we got to clap back, we'll clap back.
Hey.
A good, healthy debate.
Yes, exactly.
It's very positive.
We're building a really great
Listen,
community. Yes.
when you're in the gym, because Shaka does fit.
Yeah, Shaka
He's into
Strong.
fitness. So when you're in the
lady.
gym, you can listen to us in your headphones on the iTunes podcast.
we want your feedback, guys. We do really appreciate it. So, on to topic number 2. My favorite part of the thing was Hollywood's high school reunion. Because we already knew we were going to get some cattiness from the preview before, so we were expecting this. What did you guys think about Hollywood's reunion? And I just love the way Hollywood was presented as a man. I mean, he was Hollywood.
You know
Right.
what?
Right.
I'm gonna say this. If I had a man, I would want him to hold me down like Hollywood. I was about to say Shaka.
I hold you down. I got you. I got you.
Hold me down.
I got
Is
you.
there something we don't know?
I got you.
Well, we've been holding it down for 3
Years,
seasons now. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
But I would want a man to hold me down the way that he held Vi down, especially with all her newfound insecurities.
Right.
And for a second, I knew that Hollywood wouldn't disappoint, but for a second, because he didn't address it, and man, I need you to
Let
get
him know,
better at
Takira.
this. I need you to get better at this. You need to address it right then and
Ooh,
there.
Takira about it.
Most
Yeah.
of the time, men need a second, like, mama, okay, what do I do? Don't question what you have to do. I'm clapping back literally. He
Class
took
is
too
in
long,
session.
but I gave him his kudos back a little bit.
Well,
but
here's the thing. Not
Take
that
him to
it-
school. Take him to
Here's
school,
the thing,
ladies.
not that it makes it right, but here's the thing. At the end of the day, he's feeling himself. He's coming to this money. He got this swag. Of course, he loves Vi.
Yeah.
And he has always held her down, has
we know
shown
that.
that for 3 seasons. But people, because I'm not going to say a man, people, we operate sometimes in the ego. And when the ego is being stroked or manipulated or, there are things that happen. And so his response time had a lot to do with his ego.
he was feeling himself for a
But,
second.
I don't even know if it was that. Because,
He may not. He said, "Look to me, honestly, like just
He didn't know
jokes
what to do.
aside. He
didn't
looked
know
like he didn't know how to respond."
Like I was gonna say, as males,
So-
sometimes we don't realize. 'Cause and hopefully I'm not being sexist here, but sometimes females will play games, and then it takes us time to realize. So
That's what she's doing?
So when she saw,
Tag me in, Sally.
Yeah, no,
You ready?
No, but no, not with him,
No, I
but
understand,
with Vi. So
Right.
it took him a while to realize what she was doing. That she was really coming at Vi with the way she was kind of coming at him. And so I
Right.
think he was just like, wait, what's happening? What? Okay, no, I see what's happening. I got
But
this.
I feel like sometimes men choose not to see it. They want to ignore it because men. Let's be clear. I got 5 brothers. Okay, let's be clear
Let 'em
here.
know, Sally.
And a lot of
Right.
times, men are very well aware of what a woman's doing. You know, and thankfully there are men who come to their women and are like, "Listen, she not really your friend." Or she's giving you like you
But
know
we
men
crazy. We crazy when we do that.
Men see things that women don't because men are a lot quieter. Women get together and we just chatting it up and da-da-da-da-da-da. But men just sit back and listen. And so a lot of times when a man comes to you and says, you need to watch out for that one, he knows. So when a man chooses
No, I agree,
not
I
to
agree.
see
I agree.
the side eye,
Yeah.
it's because he don't want to address it.
I agree, but I think with Hollywood,
He was a
it
little
was just a
naive.
moment of just realizing it, connecting it. But then, in some relationships that could cause a problem where there's like, you didn't respond quick enough.
Yeah.
Right? You're like, wait a
Right.
minute, I responded.
Or to be a little devil's advocate for myself, or you respond too quick and you don't do it the right way, so now you're trying to.
Make me look crazy.
But me personally as a guy, I gotta give Hollywood all the points on this one. He stepped up and he
did.
let her.
Once he
let her know
realized
in a
it.
in a very.
Once he realized that, we was like, you better let these women know.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, because sometimes you're right. In the moment, it's like, bro, what's up? You kind of leaving me dry right now. But he did. He made me say, okay, you know what, Hollywood,
He
I
gotta-
mess with you.
And I knew it was the right move
Good
because as a
job.
viewer, I was like ready for Vi to clap back, but I was like,
Right.
"Oh,
It's
you don't
not her
need to." He
job.
handled it.
Exactly.
Like so, as a viewer, if you want that, like,
Exactly.
"Oh, get back," but then
Yeah.
he neutralized me as a viewer. Oh, okay, he got it. It's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
And you know, we
Sorry
all
about
always like to take this back to our community because I feel like those are messages that we need to see because oftentimes as women we feel like it's our job to clap back, but I think it's good that we're showing that sometimes it's your man's job to handle these situations. Like make me feel secure in what we have to let this heifer know. Oh, disrespectful.
It's getting a little personal up in
Heifer
here.
know
But I mean,
that she overstepping her boundaries by disrespecting me.
Tell her why you're
woman.
mad, Candy.
Because at
Tell
the
her
Let them
why.
know.
And I think that's right though, because at the end of the day, do you need to ever worry about what another woman's doing to your man? No, if you trust the guy. You know?
Yeah.
So you know what? I expect you to hit on him because that's why you chose him.
And
You
he-
know.
yeah, he's
But I trust him,
attractive,
so
yeah.
he's gonna cut it off. So.
Yeah.
So I think that's right. Of course, we saw Vi had some trouble with the lupus, I guess, in that scene. So we don't know what that means for her. But it was
I was so scared.
it was tough to watch for me.
Yeah, for a second I thought that she was going to, because she's trying to act like everything's okay and that she has it going, has it all together. And for a second I was like, she's gonna pass out and she's gonna feel really embarrassed, and I don't want something to happen between her and Hollywood. Like it was just so much.
Because to bring up the age and then now to be suffering from something that she probably is going to feel, I mean, it's
Like,
not age related,
because-
but she's going to
right.
feel like, that's part of it,
And that's
Right.
the ego and the pride.
I was
Yeah.
just about to say ego on both. Like they both showed
Right.
signs of ego.
Yeah.
Like it's okay to be vulnerable like
But
that.
it's also a
sometimes.
fear because it's
yeah.
something new, and she's like, a lot of these symptoms and things that are happening to her are happening for the first time. So it's like, how do I react to this? I've been this matriarch, I've been this strong woman that hasn't had to depend on anybody for so long. Now I gotta ask for help, or now I gotta take a kneel, or I gotta take a step to the side. So it's like these are new learned behaviors that she has to learn how to deal with.
Yeah, and even though Hollywood is family and she's going to marry him, it's still like, it feels like here's someone who's giving me help that's not like where it feels like it originated from, like they're not a
Right.
brother or a father,
Right.
Can we talk about this ring? Speaking of marriage.
Oh, yeah.
I put that in my notes.
Well,
I did.
well,
If they make it to the wedding, because he might spend all the money before they get
I mean,
there,
let
right?
me upgrade you. I mean, he done upgraded the whole darn
Yeah,
thing.
and that fleur-de-lis, that beautiful New Orleans
Yes,
symbol.
New
yeah.
Orleans, they put that in there. Okay, y'all, I see y'all.
That was cute, right?
Yeah.
It was cute.
That was
And I
cute.
think that, I love what they're doing with Queen Sugar. They really give us a texture of where they're at, the
Right.
location, and like really that community. Just from the little details of the fleur-de-lis and things like that. So.
Yeah, that's dope.
We also had Ralph Angel's big episode, which I thought was amazing because I've been waiting for Ralph Angel to grow up, and it didn't hit you over the head. It was these subtle moments,
yeah.
but it was just like, oh, things are clicking for this guy, and I might take back some of my predictions that I had before.
I thought about you because we were sitting right beside each other. I was like,
yeah,
I like side eye, like, what you gonna face?
I was like, why are they making him do this? This is not my prediction. But yeah, I thought in several scenes between the parolee, between Blue, that we saw Ralph Angel grow up. What did you guys think about his?
I think
growth?
sometimes you have to grow through what you go through. And I'm gonna say that again. You have to grow through what you go through.
I like that.
That's a tweetable.
We're not at sweet tweets yet. Hold on.
With that, like on the spot. But no, like seriously, like with everything that he is, all the tribulations that his character has been forced to go through, I feel like he was at a point where it's like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna bend or break. Like this young man needs you, regardless of the fact that he's not your son. You know, this woman broke this news down to you. What are you gonna do? You're a leader of a farm. You have been forced to be a leader. So what are you gonna do? Be a strong man or a weak man? And I feel like they've been building his character up, even though he's been immature, to be the strong man. And it was like, you know what? I gotta step it up.
Yeah, we see his journey, and not to mention he's also an example for the parolees and everyone trying to make it out, quote unquote, make it out. So.
And the strength, the booty call is there. She's at the door.
I
get it when you can like
Ralph.
text and say don't come, but she was there, and he was still had the power and the strength and the respect to her though. I thought he did it better. He did it so respectfully. He was like, look,
and this is a new woman, clearly.
Yeah, but
not the same other trick that's
I don't like her. At least she had some.
That's a conversation though. Why is it that when we are hurting, we have to use them physically to get us through those what do we want to call that emotion? What do we want to call that?
What do we
like
mean?
we have it's like we use people to get us through, but it doesn't even help anything.
Wait a minute. But the last girl that he turned down, she also had a child.
Right.
It seemed that they were very mutually on the same page.
That's what I kind of picked up too.
Yeah, so what do we say use? Now, if two adults decide, hey, we're going to go about a particular act or a particular relationship,
he doesn't care about
because
these women, and that's
it doesn't
obvious.
matter. To me, it doesn't matter. Escapism, to a degree, is a coping mechanism, and if we both go into it saying, hey, this is what it is, we're both healing from this and having a good time, what makes it wrong?
Oh, wait a minute.
Come on, Sally. Can I tag you in?
Let me hold on.
What?
Yes and no.
Point counterpoint.
I get what Shaka's saying. Two consenting adults having a good time. Who am I to judge? I'm not the judge of the jury.
And it may even help both people grow.
So that's fine. But I understand where Candace is coming from in terms of codependency and using physicality to overcome something. Whether you're using sex, drugs, alcohol, whatever, any of it isn't right. So that's what she's trying to say. Like if Ralph Angel is using alcohol to cope, is using drugs to cope, is using sex to cope, that's not how you do it.
Wait, no. Why do we say these things can't be healthy coping mechanisms in moderation in a limited way? Wait, we have a long day. You have a glass of wine. Okay, great. I'm coping.
Okay, stop. Stop.
No. No, but there's a difference between that and going, I had a long day, I'm about to have 5 shots.
What you're not about to do is use alcohol as a way.
No. It's the same thing with with sex. Sex provides different pheromones. The brain relaxes. It's a coping mechanism
they call
physically.
It a substance for a reason because it is there to substitute a feeling that I think what she is trying to say, you just have to feel and get through.
You can't deal with that healthily in a mature relationship.
I'm going to say this. We all felt Ralph Angel's pain. We all felt what he went through. And that was mourning. He was mourning. We mourned with him. Like for him to sit there and to find out that is not his child. And okay, wait, what's going on?
She said we weren't getting any though.
Right. And then I'm done with y'all. And then for us to see like this man almost had his wedding day. Like I don't know about y'all, but I've been there where you felt like you found somebody that you were supposed to spend the rest of your life with, and maybe this is me revealing just a little bit, and then you get there, and then it's like, well, technically, this is not really going to happen.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, that's a death. Like, I have mourned that kind of death, and that is one of the hardest feelings to deal with in the world. And then you go through this little phase where you're using people to get you through it. Been there, done that. I get it. But it still doesn't help that pain go away, and that's all I'm saying.
But doesn't that look different for every person?
Every person, he's going through a grieving process, for sure. And grief looks different on different people. that does not mean that the way we choose to cope with our grief is necessarily
Okay.
But what can be
correct
destructive for
way.
one person can be constructive for another, and I think for Ralph Angel,
This is constructive?
I think
Nah.
no. I think
although it's affecting his
Well,
child.
No,
Thank you.
and I think that was his wake up call, was that this was affecting the kid, Blue. But I think there was a constructive part to him where he did feel a healing, where he did feel, okay, tomorrow will be better. Tomorrow, like I have Dollar, but tomorrow will be. She's not who I'm tied with. I have possibilities or options. So I think he needed that for himself. I wouldn't have said that if he continued to go down the same path. But that, to me, when he rejected her now, was clear that okay, he did heal some. And now he's ready to move forward in a mature, responsible way that was respectful to her, respectful to himself.
And let's not forget, though, that he didn't just up and dismiss her just because he wanted to.
Yeah.
He dismissed her because Blue
That's
saw the other
why.
woman.
Yeah.
So I think his impact on the woman had no concern whatsoever. I think his impact on the other male, the mini male that he has in the household, he cares about uplifting and being an example, for other men. So.
And I gotta say, shout out to Michael B. Sex therapy ain't nothing wrong as long as both parties know the deal.
Okay, you know what, Michael B,
Lord.
I'm not fooling with you either.
Yeah,
but no,
I feel
seriously,
that.
I will say this, and this hopefully will take us to a different point, but I'll say this. If it was really helping, if this sex therapy was really helping, then why did we still see that he felt some kind of way when he saw Darla? That's all I'm going to
Well,
say.
I don't know
If it was really helping, honestly, when her presence had entered into the room, like, he wouldn't have felt some kind of way. He
What?
would have been okay. He would have been, in a sense, healed because he done had all this sex therapy, all this sexual healing.
Come on,
Somebody. I'm just saying.
no,
he was still hurting when he saw her.
I will say he was. That's a mother of his
you're
child, who's not his child.
stuttering.
No. I think the situation has got a gravity that you're going to see an expression from. We don't know what the expression means yet, but he's going to react when this woman who lied to him about the being the father of his child.
Look here. Clearly, this has a lot. We want to
Yeah.
know what you guys think, because
Yeah.
this could go all night.
But
And
you're
so-
getting sexual therapy. I'm
It
just
could
saying.
go all night.
I'm just saying, but we do see that after he got that sexual therapy, this is the episode he grows the most.
I ain't seen none
What
of
did you
it.
guys think?
Just joking.
I just love the way he consoled Charley in that one moment. I mean,
Yes,
I've seen
I
so
put
much
that down.
emotion in these shows, and for me, I don't know why that hit me so hard.
It did.
Because I've never seen Ralph Angel be that rock to someone, and Charley in that moment was just really vulnerable. What did you guys think of that?
I completely agree. I put in my notes there. Just every episode they get closer and stronger, and tables are flipping. That each sibling is playing a different role. Because going into this, we were like, oh, okay, Charlie's the smart businesswoman, Nova is the rock, and Ralph Angel is a hot mess.
Yeah.
And like now everybody's taking a seat in a different light, and I love it. That to me is what spoke the most on Ralph Angel's growth.
Yeah, it was incredible.
Yeah.
I think the growth was a result of other things, but I don't think it was a result of the sex therapy. That's all I'm gonna say.
It all
We're gonna leave it
contributes.
at that.
It all
We're gonna table that.
contributes.
We're gonna move on.
It all
let's move on.
contributes. It all
Just saying.
contributes.
Let's move on.
And then we did see a little bit more growth with Ralph Angel and the parolee and sort of making that decision.
Yeah.
And so we've seen a lot from Ralph Angel in growth. I guess before we get to our predictions, we got to go with our sweet tweets of this episode. So if you guys have sweet tweets, tweets in the comments, let us know. And then what do you got, Takira? What you got?
You know what? I'm not gonna bring up Hollywood and his thing yet, because that was my moment. I don't know if you guys picked up on, but the shade between Asha and Kiki. So my sweet tweet is Kiki saying, "Didn't I teach you?" So hashtag "Didn't I teach you?" for my sweet tweet. Because she kind of there's something
There's
that
some
was in my
growing
prediction.
shade. We got the growing shade.
Yes, that was in my prediction last week, and I'm still going to keep it. I know we're talking about it, but Asha is obviously the young teen that took a knee during the game, and Mike is kind of getting a little, Kiki had to check her for a second, but that's my sweet tweet.
And good to see Kiki again, right?
that.
We
Hello,
miss Kiki.
Kiki's back.
Yeah.
We talked
See
about that in
you.
the news last week.
Yeah, and they had her up top of the episode. It was nice. Like,
Yes.
okay, Kiki's back.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Any sweet tweets?
Yes, I have a sweet tweet. Okay, so I think this was a really, really dope moment. When Charley was talking to Nova and she was saying that she's not interested in the game. I don't plan on winning the game, Nova. I plan on eliminating it.
Yes.
That was such a strong moment for me, and
That's
is definitely
tweetable.
a sweet tweet.
Yeah,
Yes.
and that was my sweet tweet because isn't that always the tension? You know, are we playing the game? Are we trying to subvert the game? Are we trying to eliminate the game completely? For me, I think as minorities we have this question a lot too because there are times where you're kind of faced with being the representative for your culture. And you know, in what way are you gonna? Whether or not you're the one person in your school amongst the sea of people that aren't part of your culture, and you have to be a voice.
Right.
What do you take? How do you take it? And so, to me, that was that tension of the game is rigged. You can't play it with them, or you can try to eliminate it. So I mean, to me, Nova and Charley neither are right or wrong. It's just different ways of approaching a situation and praying to God with fingers crossed that your way
it
works.
works.
That you get the end
Come on,
result.
Jesus.
And that's, I love her explanation to Micah that she gave. She was like, different strategies, but we all got the same point, and we all have the same point in mind.
And wanting dignity and respect. And at the end of the day, that's all anyone really wants is dignity and respect.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
correct.
And so, that was my sweet tweet. But I guess that should bring us into predictions. But before we get quite into that section, we missed a little bit of Micah. I thought Micah was incredible. I think we see Ralph Angel and Micah kind of growing up together almost.
Oh,
Yes.
wow.
Yeah.
I love where Micah's character is going. I think we've said this before, but he's definitely taking after his aunt, Nova.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, like him just being more engaged in his black culture because of everything his characters went through, that tragic moment. He could have went to, a different way, but he's become stronger, and I think that's really dope to see as a young black man living in today's world. So that's cool.
Yeah, just Micah kind of, I haven't seen him this comfortable in his own skin until this moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
So let's go into predictions.
Predictions?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
I will stay on, just pertaining to this episode, I'll stay on the whole Asha and Kiki thing. We didn't see any of Charley's loves in this episode, so I'm not going to bring up Charley and her love life. But Asha and Kiki, I think they are going to clash heads for sure. It's going to be an issue. And sadly, I feel like obviously we see Aunt V something kind of big happening to kind of dial back the pride and the ego that we talked about.
Well, my prediction, since, Micah became Nova's muse and what her topic was going to be for her book, my prediction is that her digging into this history, which is a very dark, twisted history, that might get her into some trouble. And that's mine.
Ooh. Okay, good predictions, ladies. My prediction has to do with Darla and Ralph Angel. Now that Darla is back on the farm and Ralph Angel has been stepping out with these little hoochies. I wonder what is going to happen. Is her presence going to affect him? How is it going to affect him?
Right.
Are they going to try and rekindle a flame, or are they going to deal with their issues so that they can be better parents for Blue?
That's good.
Predictions. Cause for me this one's tough because Ralph Angel really changed.
Yeah.
But you know what? Like I said, people when we change, it takes some time. 3 steps forward, 2 steps back. I think there's going to be a lot of tension with whether or not he's going to keep Blue. I think there's going to be a moment, an ultimate decision where he's like, look, wait a minute, I don't have to be his father in this way. I think he's going to come to that. But I think it'll be a decision. Before I thought he was just going to be like, go. But I think now it'll be more of a decision in his mind. Who else? Nova is not going to be able to sit still, in my opinion.
Yeah.
She doesn't know how to.
I mean, this book writing process is a long time to be out of the game when you've been on the front lines. You've been, you've held up the fist, and so I think it's going to be real tough for her. And I think we're going to see her act out in time, trying to pursue that.
Yeah. I think, and I know we're wrapping on time, but Nova, obviously she had to find something new to write about in her book, and she was putting sticky notes up saying, black farmers and her family's pain and all
Lost
of these
legacies,
things. Yeah, like lost legacies. Like, so it looks like she is going to write a book on her own story, her family's story.
Yeah.
what do you guys think
Wow,
is going to
that's
happen there?
great.
I love it and I hate it because I feel like no one can tell your story better than you, and I feel like sometimes, you know, while you're worried about everyone else in the world, sometimes it's good to just focus on you and your roots so that you can help other people. What do you guys think?
I mean, it reminds me of Barack Obama's autobiography, where he told his story through the lens of racism in America and, you know, what was happening. So I think it's great to be able to tell your personal story, but that's got bigger truths for the community and the nation and the country at large. And so that truth can resonate with people as well. So, and I think it helps people connect with your story, even though they may not know your story or be a part of your story.
Because you can't be the only one going through whatever it is that you're going through.
And they all have significant voices. Like Charley's voice is significant because she comes from this completely different world. I think it's going to be great because everybody's going to be able to relate to the different characters.
And we got some extra diversity in this episode as well.
Yes.
So, And so we got some great news.
I got some stories.
Yeah, we got some news from Franceli.
You know,
Bring you in right, girl.
we're gonna make it quick. I'm gonna be a reporter. But you know, Nova was doing her thing and researching her book, and Ava made sure that we saw the image of Ida B. Wells.
Yes.
And you know, we have people from all around the world that listen to us on AfterBuzz TV, and although us on the panel know very well who Ida B. Wells is, you know, the world out there might not know. So Ida B. Wells was born into slavery and was freed by the Civil War, and was an investigative journalist and educator, and was an early leader in the civil rights movement. But what I feel why she was put in the same context with Nova is that she was one of the co-owners of the Memphis Free Speech newspaper. So her leaving the newspaper, kind of just like that symbolism there of making their own voice and paving their own way. And she was one of the founders of the NAACP. So shout outs to Ida B. Wells.
Yes.
Yes.
A little Black history in
Yes,
June. You got it.
and I also found out that almost all the episode titles for this season are from Maya Angelou's poem On the Pulse of Morning, which she read at Bill Clinton's inauguration in 1993.
Read this poem. It is deep. I found like 10 different meanings in the first 3 paragraphs.
Yes.
I got to reread about 30 different times.
And
but
then
it's a
you'll
beautiful
find
poem.
another one every single time.
Yeah, it's
So
beautiful.
it's you.
It
Go
really is.
Google it. It's called On the Pulse of Morning by Maya Angelou. And lastly, Kofi, the real life raw angel. Kofi is really, you know, coming out with some awesome stuff. He just did a documentary called WTF is Mental Health. And so he released this documentary on mental health in the Black community and really needing to speak about that. And so kudos to him. I love him for that. We love you for tuning in with us every week.
Yes.
And that's your news.
Amazing. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you. Well, we try to cover it all tonight. Tonight was
Tonight was heavy.
Yeah, I loved the
right.
episode tonight. I'm looking forward to episode 4. Hopefully things pick up. I like a little more action though.
Yeah.
So, but
Same.
I feel like it's coming, so we'll see. Thank you guys for joining us. Again, my name is Shaka Smith. You guys can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at Shaka Strong.
Yes, so you guys can find me on Instagram. My name is Miss Candi Marie at Miss Candi Marie, and on Twitter at Sweet Candora TV.
And you can follow your favorite Afro-Latina, Franceli Chapman, at all the things at Celly Hangout.
Yes, and you can find me, Takira Shabrae, on Instagram and Twitter at Takira_Shabrae. And do not forget iTunes, 5 stars, comment, because when you comment, it actually bumps it on up to the top, easier to find.
Yes. We'll see you guys next week.
Adios.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Keven Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.